Hey foodie friends, what are we going to make today? I have been hearing over the years about making chicken pot pie with the Red Lobster Cheddar Biscuit mix. So we're going to go ahead and give this a try. And as you can see here in Northern Virginia, we got a lot of snow overnight last night, and then there's more coming in a couple hours or so. It's a good day to cook inside. And I'm just going to use canned chicken, and I actually used to love bumblebee chicken, as you'll see here, because it was the lowest sodium chicken I could find, but it turns out that the Walmart brand, Great Value, is also low in sodium, and it usually still tastes plenty good. I'm just going to make one pan worth. If you have a huge family, you just double up your recipe, or if you're going to make it even smaller for one person. But that's the size I'm going to use. I often like to use, as you know, my foil pans because you can just throw them away. But this pan has just a little bit more room in it. It's a little bit wider because I want to make sure that all the ingredients are mixed together really well and there's not too much of one and not enough of the other. So let's get going. So my cast of characters is different than some videos that I had seen. Actually quite different. I just know what I like and what I think is going to be good in it. So we're going to do milk, both in the mixture and in the biscuits. Even though it calls for water, the milk should make it even better, a little bit fluffier. Mayonnaise, yes. I don't think you're going to see that in any of these. Mayonnaise gives it a nice creamy texture. And I'm even going to put a touch of mustard in there because mustard makes everything tasty. Where just a little bit, not too much. There's plenty of butter involved because it's going to go in the mixture as well as the biscuit mix. And then my 2 cans of chicken. Whatever seasonings you think you might want. I'm going to use this Montreal chicken seasoning. It's got a little everything in here, but you could just do garlic powder, onion powder, salt, pepper, whatever. But this is what I'm going to put in there. And gotta have your mixed vegetables or it wouldn't be a pot pie. I'm just gonna use some of this, obviously not the whole bag. And I like to have potatoes in my pot pies, so I just got some canned potatoes. I'm gonna chop them up a little bit and mix that with it too. Overall, I think it's gonna be really easy to do. Now chicken stock, I can't find the salt-free chicken stock in just the cans. It's like a lower sodium, still super high in sodium. So I like to add my own seasonings because you can always add, but you can't take away. But when you're starting with high sodium, broth or stock and high sodium vegetables, like this has almost probably no sodium because it's frozen. So I like to start with low sodium if possible. And then you can actually taste as you go on some of these recipes where when all this stuff is kind of pre-cooked, you can taste and then bake it. I like these little pop tops. I mean, I have a can opener, but it just makes things a little bit quicker. So make sure that you drain your chicken really good. What did I say? When we get older, we're all going to starve to death. They'll get rid of us that way because you can't get anything open. Ugh. And I am not a weakling. I was even out shoveling snow today while the husband was using the snow blower. So I know I'm not that weak. All right, next time I might have to get the kind that goes in the can opener. Wow, that's pretty crazy. Anybody that's bought the Great Value brand chicken, let me know if it's nearly impossible to pop this lid. Otherwise, I might have to start going to the gym, lift a few weights. I have not actually tried the Walmart Great Value brand chicken before, so just out of curiosity, it looks like all the other canned chicken. Usually it's really tender, so let's see how it tastes. That is exceptional. Now, Bumblebee was my favorite. You pay more for Bumblebee. This is just as delicious or better. So I'm just going to dump those in there. Now, you know me, I'm not a measurement kind of person, so I'm just going to look and use my own brain and mix this together until I think it looks good. Don't want too many vegetables, don't want not too many. You can always add, but you can't take away unless you pick them out one by one. All right. Sometimes what I'll do too, I'll kind of inspect a little bit. Like I see this one carrot looks kind of, I don't know what that is on it. So, you know, if I see anything that looks kind of weird, I just pitch it. Sometimes you'll get on string beans or green beans, which way you call it, you'll get the stems and it looks like the green bean, but it was actually stems. So I just checked through it real quick. I had seen on some of the videos that people like to melt their butter and pour it across the bottom. I don't see any need for that. It's just more work involved. I'm just gonna put little dabs here and there, kind of like I did my turkey dish the other day. Go back, take a look at that, bing. And I just put little dabs of butter in and it mixed in there really good. And then the rest of the butter, or some of it, will be used for the biscuit mix. Now technically in here there's 4 cups of chicken stock. I like the stock, it's just a richer flavor, but you can do broth. You can make your own broth. A lot of people do that too. And when you do buy these types of boxed broth, keep in mind, and it shocked me at first, but something new that they're all doing, when you open it up, I'm afraid to tip it, but the inside, see that foil? It splits up like that. I guess it's like a safety thing. It kind of cuts it up when you open it. See the little sharp things? I don't understand it, whatever. But I was afraid the foil was getting in there, but it's not. It's just ripped off into one solid piece. So I'm just gonna eyeball it, but I'm only gonna do 1 cup roughly, because some people had put 2 cups in and they said it was just too wet. And we don't want it to be too icky. And I'm gonna put just a little bit of milk in. Again, I'm just doing a little bit to get a little color going, a little creaminess. But this is the idea that I have that I think is gonna make it magical. Is mayonnaise, and that's what I did in that turkey dish I made the other day, and it was very good. Don't knock it till you try it. And let's throw in a little mustard. Not too much, just a little. I'm gonna go ahead and chop these potatoes up. I'll be right back. Instead of breaking out the cutting board, I'm just gonna chop it up here in this plate. Again, saving on dishes, and I'll probably just use part of the potatoes and maybe I'll use the rest for breakfast or something, since it's been snowing and the husband gets a couple days off because of the snow. So I'll be making more breakfast at home. And potatoes with some onions cooked in a pot or pan with some eggs, yummo. A little bit of ketchup on the side. I'll try to cut them in kind of smaller pieces. And put a little in. If you want more, put more. I just think a pot pie is not complete without potatoes. And it'd probably be nice to put onions in too, but we want to make this as easy as possible. So if you want to pre-cook up some onions or something else, just throw it in there as you see fit. I'm going to throw a little bit more potatoes in. It should be good. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah. I'll put a little bit more potatoes. Just chop it up nice and little. Don't cut your finger off. All right, there's that. We got the butter, we got the vegetables, we got the chicken stock, the milk, the mayonnaise, the mustard. Now let's go with the seasonings. And because this Montreal seasoning has already some salt and all kind of neat garlicky flavors and I don't know, almost like Italian flavors mixed in, it's just all kinds of stuff. It says garlic, onion, salt, spices, and herbs, including black pepper, parsley, red pepper, paprika, green bell pepper. It smells amazing. I mean, you guys, I use it on turkey and all kinds of things. So again, you can always add, but you can't take away. So I'm gonna mix this. It's probably gonna be really lightly flavored, and then we can taste test it. Now, I'm gonna go wash my hands, because as you know, I like to get hands in to mix things better. Like when it's a meatloaf or something, you wanna really make sure everything's mixed evenly. In other videos, they just layered things and didn't mix anything. I don't care. This is how I'm gonna do it. And then of course the butter is going to melt as it bakes. I was going to do canned vegetables, and they're good too because they're already cooked down. You know, when you do something like this, you risk the vegetables not being quite cooked all the way, but I know it's going to be cooking long enough to a nice bubbly situation, and when the top is browned, the vegetables will be done. All right, so we're going to break up some of this chicken as we mix it around. That way everybody gets a bite of chicken, because they're in kind of big chunks when it comes out of the can like that. I'm going to flatten it out so it's all nice and that's just butter there. So flatten it, kind of separate the butter a little bit, make sure everybody gets a little something something. So because I feel like I want it to be a little bit more moist, I'm gonna put a little bit more milk in, maybe a little bit more of the stock. I didn't hardly use any, so I don't want to use too much. But you want your pot pie to not be dry as well. So I'll just sprinkle just a little bit, not too much. I can close it up, keep it in the fridge, or just use it quickly for something else, but for now I'll just put it in the fridge. And just a little bit more milk to give it a little more creaminess to it. And the one thing I forgot to set out was the cheese. Some people don't put the cheese in the mix, but it's designed to have the cheese in it. And if we're gonna make a pot pie that's special, might as well make it with cheesy biscuits. Also, let me know if you've ever tried to make your chicken pot pie this way. Before I make the biscuit mix, I'm gonna taste test this mixture, just the juicy part, to make sure that it's gonna be flavored enough. Because once you cover it, you pretty much can't flavor the mixture anymore. It definitely needs more. Now that I could sprinkle right on top. And I know that that'll be plenty. I just went real light to see how it's gonna go with all this. That should be plenty. So in their mixture, they say to use cold water, but I have been hearing that using milk is way better, makes it more fluffy. So that's what we're gonna do. And then add in our cheddar cheese and the biscuit mix. Now, what I'm also gonna do, and I've seen it both ways, is you can do the herb butter at the end and dab it on top when it's all over. It makes it look pretty, but I'm just gonna mix it all together because I wanna make this as simple and easy as possible, and it should be fine. Let's see how it goes. You wanna be careful when you go to open these. I used to do it like this, boing, and everything goes flying everywhere. So I'm just gonna put it safely in the bowl and cut her open. And here's our little herb mix. Cut that open without taking a finger off. Get all that goodness out. It's calling for 1/4 cup of butter. And as you know, when it comes to biscuits, you can just throw butter in little pieces and it will mix in there just fine. Kind of makes it even better that way. So I think that'll be good. 1/2 cup of cheddar cheese or whatever cheese. This is like a neat cheddar mix. Tillamook is not cheap, but it's like the creamiest cheese I've ever bought. Real good quality. So that's what I'm going to use today. And it doesn't have to be 1/2 cup. It could be however cheesy you want it to be. But I'm just going to put about that much. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to use milk instead of water. It says 3/4 cup, but I'm going to do a little bit extra because we want it to be just a little bit runny to spread over the top better. I'm not going to do like a dry biscuit form. So when you get to be 60, you kind of know the cups, but go ahead and get your measuring cup. But I'm going to do what I think would be about, it's about 1 cup. I'm going to use the hands. I think that's going to be plenty of milk. It's going to be just runny enough to pour over the top. Like I said, I have not done this before. And I hear it looks funny when you pour this over the top of the mixture, but it's supposed to come out beautiful. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. I have not found anybody that's going to do it quite this way. So let's see how it goes. This seasoning is so good, I'm tempted to actually put some in this, but I'm just going to trust what they have done with their flavors, and we'll see how it goes. But if I make it in the future and I feel like it needs some, you can always just change things up. It's your thing. It's starting to get a little bit more solidified, but it's still very spreadable. So just kind of glob it around and it'll kind of melt down in there. Just cover the top. Again, you could do it with a spoon, but I'm a hands-in kind of person. Just want to make sure it's all pretty even across the top. All right, so we're going to put this in the toaster oven because it turns out this pan actually fits in that little toaster oven back there. I don't have a time limit right now. We're gonna put it at 350 until it starts to turn brown and get bubbly, and then I'm gonna keep a close eye on it at that point. And then I'll try to tell you about how long that took. When it's done, I'm gonna give it a try, and then I'm gonna have the husband taste test it. And as you know by now, he is painfully honest, which is good. That's what I want him to do. And then I cry if he says something's not good. And the minutes, I'm gonna start with 20 just to check it. It should take a lot longer, just depends on your oven. But this cooks so fast that I'm gonna check it in 20 minutes. Stay tuned. Okay, so we're almost 20 minutes in, and as we see, it's just starting to bubble. And I knew it was gonna take a lot longer, I just wanted to check it. So we're gonna keep track of how long this takes to cook. So we'll check back in about another 15 minutes. So I had added another 15 minutes to my 20 minutes. I think at 35 minutes, it might be done. But keep in mind, this little toaster oven, if you see my past videos, it's a workhorse. It cooks faster than my regular oven does. And I love my regular oven, but this just is quick and it doesn't make the whole house hot, and it's perfect for stuff like this. It's done, and I can tell you it smells amazing. It's blazing hot, so I'm gonna let it sit out for a few minutes. So while I'm waiting for this to cool down, I don't really quite have the proper large spoon to really serve this with because it's a pot pie, so it's going to be a little bit liquidy. But I've got this oversized spatula, and this I use for spaghetti sauces, that type of thing. And between the two, we'll get it to the bowl. Let's see what the husband thinks after I try it first. All right, let's crack into this and see how it is. I'm going to try it first and then have the husband hop over and give it a try. I think I'm going to try it with the spatula and then the spoon if I got to scoop up some of the goodness. Wish me luck. Oh, that went really well with just the spatula. And it looks like it's the perfect consistency, not too wet, not too dry. You can see the little seasonings from their garlic packet. Look at the steam. Can you see the steam? See if you can see the steam. I can see it. There it is. Yummo. Look at that. I can see little bits of stretched out cheese in there. Looks very yummy. Almost like I could have put a little more liquids in it, but most people complain that it was too much liquid. That's what you do though. You just try things and then you adjust. So let me give it a shot. It's definitely still pretty hot. I can tell. Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it? Looks very good. Yeah, I'm glad I put the little bits of potato in it. And don't be afraid if you want to put some onion in it. I guess you could put it in raw or maybe cook it just a little bit to make sure it's tender. But the potatoes and the mixed vegetables, they look great. That is really good. I'm glad I put that little bit of extra shake of Montreal chicken seasoning. That made it so good. I'm telling you, if you haven't tried that, try it. It's so good. So here's a nice big chunky piece of chicken in with some of the mixture and the bread. Hot. The chicken is perfect, as I figured it would be. I'm telling you, don't knock canned chicken. It's really good. Try it. The breading is exceptional. And I'm glad that I just went ahead and mixed the seasoning packet in. Yeah, you could put the butter on the top at the end, but I just mixed it all in. It's delicious. That was good. Look how light and fluffy. That was about 38 minutes. I added another 3 minutes. So we did the 20, added 15, watched it carefully, added 3 more. And it's perfectly done, the bread. And the bread by itself is delicious. I would say it's not as cheesy as if you were at the restaurant, but I can see the cheese. This is cheese right there. In the future, I'd probably add a little bit more broth even. Might even go to the 2 cups of broth versus 1 cup. The carrots are good, the peas are good, the corn. Everything is yummy. The green beans, these little canned potatoes, yummo. And you could probably put them in there raw as well, but dice them really small because you don't want them to be crunchy. But these are perfect. I'm gonna set mine aside and call the husband over. All right, so we're gonna have the husband try it. He's been waiting all day for it. Let's see how this goes. Get you a little bit more of the inside stuff. It's still kind of hot.
Yeah, it looks good. Try some of the extra stuff that was just put in there first.
Careful, it's hot. Is it hot?
Yeah, it's good.
I put the
Let me try some of the crust first and next, I mean.
I put the Montreal chicken seasoning in the mixture, and then on the top, I did it kind of like the box said, just a little twist. Do you like it?
Yeah, that's delicious.
Yay!
It's really good.
He loves it. It's husband approved.
All right, let's eat.
If you guys like these types of videos, it would be a huge honor to have you subscribe, and thank you for watching. Yay! Thanks, Bill. You can take it over there.
That's good.